And there it is. Once again, I have been proven right. I talked about VShojo shutting down literally in yesterday's video. After everything we knew about Ironmouse and other people not being paid on time, this was obvious. If you're into finances and have a background in them like me, and you're a literal god, then all of this was obvious that this was just a debt spiral to keep the money afloat because they have absolutely no real profits and pretty much only debt exists. It was the easiest prediction of my life, boys. And now it's getting even more fun.
Hey, what's up, guys? Up here. So when you say VShojo is cooked, that's no longer an opinion, that is a fact. VShojo has come out with an official statement today announcing that they're shutting down, and as part of that statement, there are some very disgusting excuses they're trying to make for the downfall of this agency, and also
Now, to be fair, while I did predict this, I did get one slight thing wrong. And it was how actually bad things are. Because in yesterday's video, I said chances are VShojo is just gonna get bought by someone, and there's still a chance with that. Easy. That's an easy chance. But that VShojo would take probably like a year, maybe to 3 years to shut down. But turns out the situation is much worse, and that's gonna happen faster, which slightly a little bit shocking. But, you know, expected still.
based on the wording, it seems very unlikely that the former VShojo talents will ever see the funds that they are deserved. On top of that, we're going to be looking at some statements coming from
Yep, chapter whatever bankruptcy. They're gonna sell their shit, and then by what's the English term for this? By wait, redistribute the money from the sale first and foremost to the investors, and then to maybe the talent and debt collectors and whatnot. When a company goes bankrupt and their stuff gets sold, auctioned off, there is a certain certain list of people who get their stuff first. First, it's the banks. Second is the this, and the people who they actually own money to, like Ironmouse's charity fund. That is literally the very last thing that's gonna get a payout from them, if it ever gets, which I honestly really doubt at this point.
Silvervale, another former VShojo talent, who shared her experience during the Hogwarts Legacy harassment campaign, where not only did VShojo not have her back, management at VShojo was blaming her for the situation and calling her a disappointment and a distraction to the other members of the agency. It's wild stuff. But before we get into that, yesterday was my birthday. Thanks again for all the birthday
Yay!
wishes, the subs on that video, and the super thanks on that video. You guys are too kind. And in that
Okay,
video,
I'm not gonna lie, Rev. I'm completely fine with you having a very clearly 1,000-year-old lolly avatar. But it's another thing to then do some kind of chibi thing with a swimsuit. Okay, that's where I draw the line. I'm not gonna lie. That's kind of a little bit too much for me. That's where it enters the kind of little bit maybe you shouldn't do this territory. Just my opinion, but you know, I kind of feel like I have to say that. This is slightly awkward in my opinion.
that tomorrow, which is now.
But please, buy my bathwater, boys. Link in the description. I'm not selling my bathwater, but I could. If any one of you wants through personal DMs, okay?
Today, I was doing the official release of my new drop with advanced G.
Philadelphia should have sold her distilled piss, okay? That would have been a hit.
A summer drop, as you can see right here. 3 new number 1 shark bait. It is based as weird poison as well.
Damn, there's a lot of merch. Jesus! How
code,
much merch do you have?
VShojo. They are officially shutting down. To sum up in lightning speed what happened over the past 3 days during the speed run of their own demise, Ironmouse comes out with this video talking about why she left VShojo. She announced that she was leaving and came out with this video where she shared some very disturbing news about the general practices of the agency, but also how she was owed funds from the agency, and more importantly, her charity that she worked with was owed over $500,000 that seemingly went missing from her subathon a year ago. And all the other talents, both former and active at the time, came forward and shared many different horror stories about the agency, many claiming that they were owed large sums of money. And now we got this whole case on quote here, where the moniker of VShojo was talent freedom or talent first. They used variations of it. And she said, talent first, my ass, because clearly they didn't care about the talents because they were not getting the funds that they deserved. And within about 48 hours, every single English VShojo member left the organization. That is a speed run. Okay, I've never seen anything like this with a big V2.
Maybe they don't have any money because they wasted, like, how much is this this thing? 1,000, 10,000 a month or something like that? It's just pretty fucking disgusting.
Agency ever, and I doubt we'll ever see anything happen this quickly. Now, a lot of people returning to the CEO of VShojo, Gunrun, which he is very aptly named because he's been on the run, so to speak. He was silent for days on this issue, and people were tagging him, basically saying, what's going on? What's your response? Well, we have the response right here from VShojo. People are already trying to put a community note on this, but let's read through this.
By the way, there were some people commenting in the last video that they do not believe that this guy just mismanaged the company. That they think that he stole from the company. Dude, it's his own company, okay? There's no point of stealing from your own company and making it go down under, okay? That's not a smart thing to do, guys. Listen, if you own a company, it is very, very, very rarely worth it to self-sabotage it, okay? Because we're not all Asmongold, right? It's very, very rarely worth to self-sabotage it and, you know, make it die and get less money from it. This is pretty much never the thing. And also, the term mismanaged is not really that nebulous, but a lot of people don't understand it. Mismanaged is typically, in this situation, poor decision making. And that poor decision making encompasses a lot of things. Maybe they wanted to expand in a bad time. Maybe they hired people that were not that useful. Maybe they bought ads for something and it didn't pay off. There's mismanaged means way that money was used was not productive. This is what mismanaged means, okay? It's not like someone tripped and, you know, just lost $1 million somewhere. No, it's just money was poorly spent. That's what mismanaged means in these contexts.
VShojo has failed, and I've mismanaged the company into the situation you're all witnessing. So today, I am sharing the difficult news that VShojo is shutting down, and I take full responsibility for the decisions that led us to this point. I've been doing everything I can to fundraise and get the ship right these past few months, but despite...
And again, this was very obvious. This is not a unique thing. When you hear about some company not being able to pay out people when their job is literally just take the money that they earn and then give it to them, that's a bad thing, okay? This is this is not even remotely close to anything that these losers who don't understand companies, finance, like More Pegasus, Asmongold, or Tectone would tell you. Oh, these people, these VTubers had a 6-month payout schedule. No, that's not fucking real. That almost never happens. That's why I don't even remember the correct terminology for how these payoffs fucking are. Because it almost never happens. And companies that use these type of payouts don't actually use this even terminology. So don't listen to these idiots. They understand nothing about this stuff. This is a very simple situation. Whenever you see, and this applies for all companies pretty much, every company. When you see a company that's just supposed to pay out people from the money that person earns, and they take like a month or 2 months to pay you out, and you hear that other people have the same problem, that means they're just rotating during the payments because they are in the red. They do not have enough cash on hand. They are in debt. And that's why they are keeping one person's payout, you know, for a month longer so they can so they can pay off some debt, and then they keep the next person's payout for a month or two longer. And if you hear a company not being able to pay out people like, 3 people at the same time, or, it's taking like 2 months to make a payout, you know that company is dead. It's literally probably dead. Like 9 out of 10 times, any company that does this is dead. No questions asked. Just instantaneous first assumption, and it's probably through dead.
My efforts, we are in a worse position, and those I care about are now paying the price. Over the past few years, we've raised around $11 million to pursue a bold, talent-first approach in VTubing, prioritizing creators and community over short-term profits to achieve long-term sustainability. Our funding went directly to our creators through generous splits, debut investments, infrastructure, concerts, events, and staffing, all designed to support them. We also wanted talent to own their own IP, which, by the way, allowing people to own the thing they already own is not exactly like the craziest thing ever. But anyways, they continue on, which we knew was a unique creator-first approach for an agency. However, despite all of our efforts, the business failed to generate the revenue we needed to sustain that model, and eventually we ran out of money. Additionally, I acknowledge that some of the money spent by the company was raised in connection with talent activity, which I later learned was intended for a charitable initiative. At the time, we
later learned this is a lie. There is no way you do not know this. Okay, there is no way you do not know this. That's a lie. The audience knows that's a lie.
Working hard to raise additional investment capital to cover our costs, and I firmly believed, based on our information available to us, that we would be able to do so and cover all expenses. We were unsuccessful in fundraising efforts. I made the decision to pursue funding, and I own its consequences. I am deeply sorry to all the talent, staff, friends, and community members who believed in our brand. You did not deserve this. From Justin, aka Gunrun.
Now that sounds like a load of bullshit, considering we know how actively and desperately they try to actually gaslight Ironmouse.
This is pretty much the worst ending in many ways. Okay, I think everyone knew that VShojo was going down. Once everyone from the English branch went away and we learned that there was bankruptcy issues at play, everyone knew the writing on the wall. But this is a very, very big cop-out from Gunrun. Basically what he's saying is, we burned through all of our money, including money that was supposed to go to charity, because we believed we would be able to raise more money. And then that attempt to get more money to secure another loan failed. And now they were left with nothing. Nothing to pay the talents. And boy howdy, is this going to be an absolute mess. Okay? Now, let's get this straight. There is a reality where the talents, now former talents, who are independent contractors by definition, there is a possibility in some reality where they could get money back. But in the grand scheme of a sell-off, as this business collapses here, the money that's going to be shifting, the former talents are on the bottom of the totem pole of priority, okay? They're the last ones who are going to get money. Everything else is going to go to the banks and all the people that loan them money first. And I highly doubt there's going to be anything left for the talents.
And typically, by the way, it's the banks that loan the money.
At the bottom of the totem pole. It's going to be a very sad situation for all these talents who were owed money, and they're probably never going to get the money, including the charity money.
Yep.
Which is really ironic, given this retweet people...
Oh, Jesus, Ludwig has a take? Can we just not? Who cares?
...been sharing, where Gunrun reposted this Ludwig tweet talking about how half of the money from the subathon for Ironmouse was going to charity. They really were aware of this, which they should have been, but they were aware of this and stressing the importance of this whole fact that there was a charitable aspect, but they still...
Ironmouse just blew past my old Twitch sub record and still has another... He's so mad. He was probably seething the shit out about this, okay? None of these people are kind. None of these people are good, okay? When you're someone like Ludwig and you're constantly, oh, I'm the best person, you know it's a bunch of shit.
Felt very comfortable taking that money for themselves to basically throw a Hail Mary pass and try to secure another loan, which of course didn't work out. But at the end of the day, they spent through all the talent's money, including the charity money. Now, the only good thing that's come out of this, the only good thing really, is that Ironmouse's Tiltify campaign for the Immune Deficiency Foundation, which was the charity in question here, they've raised now $1.2 million. Well over twice that amount she raised during the sub.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's really good.
Gone. It's gone poof. It's gone right into the pockets of people at VShojo, and it's unlikely we'll ever see that money go to the Immune Deficiency Foundation. But luckily, Ironmouse and so many people have contributed to this Tiltify campaign, so at least something's going there. Great effort on their behalf there. But let's look at some of the replies to VShojo's announcement. It's not great. Bao saying, "This is exactly what Studio Cell and Copium Merch did to us, pretending the ship wasn't sinking, and instead of being honest, took everyone down with them."
Well, okay. To slightly explain this, which is, it's going to seem kind of an oxymoron, but it is true. The company should not be honest with the people working, the talent, everyone that shit's hitting the fan, okay? Because if they do, that's pretty much killing the company, okay? While you're at least pretending things are fine, there's maybe a Hail Mary chance that you fix this, okay? Listen, the company going down means that, well, the company's going down. Sooner or later, it's going to go down. And being honest is just going to 100% make it go down, because the moment no one wants to work for a dead company, okay? No one wants to work for a company that's going bankrupt. The moment you say, "Oh, I'm going bankrupt," dip. Everyone's dipping. Everyone's skipping. It's over. Everyone's it's Titanic, but women and children first does not apply any longer. So companies should not honestly be honest about this, because that gives them a chance to survive at least. Being honest literally just means a bunch of companies shutting down and a bunch of people who probably don't deserve to be fired and homeless to be now potentially homeless and definitely fired. Okay?
The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Omni saying, "It sounds like you used your talent's actual money to keep your business afloat until you could secure additional funding, hence the operating costs. You didn't disclose that you were in the red and were hemorrhaging your talents." Smugglon saying, "Mismanagement is a funny way to say a greedy rats. The things that are coming out are not mismanagement. They are appalling stories of how
that's literally what mismanagement also covers.
You and your lackey."
You could argue that this is technically gross negligence.
That ran the company are spineless narcissists. Asmongold saying, "So, what about the $500K for charity money? Is that going to be donated?"
Bro, this is the guy who watched the Ironmouse video and then fucking said, when she said, "I thought that no one's ever gonna hire me," he said, "Oh yeah, same, I also didn't want to get a job." Bro, you're fucking incompetent. She has immune deficiency sickness. You're not the same, okay? So disgusting.
Donated still, or is it something that needs to be investigated? Not to mention all the unpaid talent fees. I would go out on a limb and say that $500K is gone. And that is a very, very sad thing to say. I guess their excuse that they're running with is that we needed to pay our employees first. Yep. And basically the cost of doing business. And we thought we were going to get another loan, and that loan would then replace the charity money that's been used up, and that never happened. And it's horrible.
Again, the moment you hear people not being paid on time, and it's a revolving door of people not getting paid on time, you know the company does not have funds any longer. Their liquidity is close to zero.
And unfortunate for everyone who had good intentions towards helping people out. And Rima saying, "Terrible response, especially in light of everything that has come out." Now, a lot more has come out, but let me talk about this real quick. So here's a former founder of VShojo, this Mo Tendu, okay, whatever. Yeah. Their pinned tweet is talking about how they left VShojo after 5 years. Notice, this was posted in May of this year, so 2 months ago, right? Now, this guy is morally grandstanding on Twitter saying, "Nah, bro, What the absolute F? Tagging Gun Run. The audacity of this person. Dude, you were there.
How there's no if you're a co-owner, there's no way you do not know because you have the right to know all of the finances of a fucking thing that you're a co-owner of or whatever.
The
Damn.
ship was sinking for a long time, and you were there. Some of the talents have been owed money for years, and you were there. And you were in a leadership and officer position. And now you're trying to join in on everyone criticizing VShojo? Nah.
Hey, gotta get those Twitter likes, dude. Gotta get that sweet Twitter heart emoji.
We're not doing this with you, man. Like, you are not a part of the party. Who invited this guy? Because you were a part of the ship that was going down. And you can see a legal mindset would quote that saying, leaving the company 2 months ago does not absolve a former officer of potential liability for past actions. And the thing is, people are going to focus the most on Gun Run. He
No shit.
is the captain of the ship. People are always going to focus on him the most. But let's not forget about people like...
Admittedly, it depends. Was he in the leadership? It kind of depends on what he actually did in the company and how much his impact was worth, okay? There is a chance that this guy is fully absolvable in the court, but not in the opinion of people, obviously.
this. Other officers and people in big positions at VShojo, they knew things weren't going well. There's no way they didn't, and they participated in this. They were active during the years that funds were being sucked away from talents who rightfully earned it. Yeah, I don't buy this, but this is kind of the really messed up story coming out today. It's coming from Silvervale, who was a former VShojo talent. She left, I don't know, approximately 2 years ago at this point, but she's been doing a live stream. It was still going when I was recording this, titled Talking About Stuff, where she was sharing some really disturbing stuff about what's going on behind the scenes at VShojo during her time there. The most disturbing in my eyes involves the
Gaslighting? Probably gaslighting.
Hogwarts Legacy harassment campaign. Now, for those who are not up to speed, back in 2023 in February, the game Hogwarts Legacy comes out, and people think you're a transphobe for playing the game because it's a
Based.
J.K. Rowling IP.
Based.
Silvervale is one of the people who
Based
played this
Rowling.
game, and one of the many people who was harassed for playing this game, or at least streaming this game. And there was a legitimate harassment campaign launched against her. Simply playing the Wizard game got her family doxxed. She got death threats.
Wow.
She was harassed endlessly.
Okay, listen, this is something I believe, unlike anything that Pirate Software says when, oh, people would mean to me. Yeah.
She was slandered. She was basically thrown under the bus. And people at the time were like, wow, it seems like VShojo is doing absolutely nothing to back up their talent, one of their star talents. And guess what? It's even worse than that. Not only did they not have her back, they were chastising her behind the scenes.
Oh,
I was put into a
come
call
on.
with Gunn, the CEO of the company, like someone that I admired and I looked up to and I wanted to please, someone that I thought was the coolest person ever. And he told me that I was a damage to the brand,
Oh, jeez.
that I was a disappointment.
Oh, jeez.
I was told that me being harassed was an inconvenience to the other talents and not to talk to them.
Damn.
Optics were more important than their own talents' well-being.
It always is, though. That's how these things always end.
And I was suspended from streaming.
Bad.
They said it wasn't a suspension because they weren't that kind of agency, but what else do you call being told not to stream? Talent freedom, right?
I mean, what an absolute disgrace.
Insane.
We all knew there was no backing from VShojo, at least publicly, right? We all knew this. But to think, not only was there no backing privately they were shaming her. They were telling her to stay away from other talents.
I mean, to be honest, this all completely sounds like something you would expect. I, by the way, believe that every VTuber agency is like this. Every talent agency in general is kind of like this.
Time where she needed backup, they told her to stay away from the other talents. She was a distraction, and that she personally, because of this choice to stream a video game, she was a disappointment to the company, a disappointment to Gun Run, and that she was someone who was causing so much damage and harm to the company. I mean, what else is there to say? Really, it can't get any worse. I'm so glad she shared this because
it
I've always
seems like it
wondered
gets
about what's
worse,
going
though.
on. And this is going to be a long string of things that we're going to see happening here. When VShojo dissolves, it's going to break all the NDAs, right? And people are going to be sharing.
The NDAs are already broken. Well, they're not technically broken, but at this point, no one's gonna sue you. Also, considering they are, you can argue that they are embezzling funds, which is something that they are not gonna fight currently. Okay, I'm just gonna give you the quick and simple. NDAs do never literally protect a company from doing illegal things, like withholding money, basic human rights, okay? If an NDA prevents you from going to the police, then that's an illegal NDA, and you have all the rights to break it at any point you feel like it, because you are not going to be liable for it, okay? NDAs do not overwrite constitutions of countries.
Their stories, people who just left and people who left years ago, and it's going to be very, very interesting to hear what else is going on, because this story alone.
Oh yeah. Let's actually hear a little bit more what she has to say.
Their members, as soon as we left, like they painted us as troublemakers and problem people, that we were greedy and asked for more money. There's like so many horrible things just to avoid the truth that they were stealing from us. And they intentionally announced Vei and I leaving at the same time, so it looked like we left together, even though Nyan wanted to leave at the same time. And they refused to let her leave at the same time because they wanted to look better for them. Like, it's not like we were all jumping ship at the same time. They literally held her hostage.
Jeez.
So it would look better.
Again, this is what these companies are gonna do. Not a lot of sympathy for garbage like this. It is what it is. Anyway, that was Rips's Desu 10 out of 10. Bye.